Hi there. Welcome back to the channel, friends. When was the last time that you spent a quiet moment just watching the wind blowing the tree limbs? Or even watching hypnotically a flickering candle? This is Nibi here with festive warm greetings to you and part 10 of the RFEFP series, The Real Winds of Plain Earth. Now friends, the winds have various aspects here on plain Earth. It's the flow of a huge amount of air, usually from a high pressure area to a low pressure area. An important aspect is one being the velocity, the wind speed. Another is its energy content or wind energy. The wind is also a great source of transportation for seeds and small birds. So with time, things can travel thousands of miles in the wind. Even the geocentric flat earth truth, friends. Now the concept of the winds has actually been explored in mythology. They power the voyages of sailing ships across the Earth's oceans. Hot air balloons use the wind to take short trips and also prove that the Earth is flat. Powered flights use it, the wind, to increase lift and reduce fuel consumption. The winds have been even printed on maps, influenced the events of history, and expanded the range of transport and warfare, and has even provided a power source for mechanical work and electricity and recreation through contemporary wind turbines as they generate electricity from wind power. And the turbine towers themselves average more than 280 feet tall, folks. Now that's about the height of the Statue of Liberty. Now wind energy is the actual kinetic energy of the air in motion, and this is testable. There is considerable opportunity for generating wind power in the open ocean, particularly the North Atlantic Ocean. They find that giant ocean-based wind farms are actually able to tap into the energy of the winds throughout much of the atmosphere, because wind speeds are higher on average over the ocean than they are over land. And wind turbines in the open ocean can intercept more than 5 times as much energy as wind turbines over land. However, this tremendous wind power, friends, is actually very seasonal. Now, very much to the contrary of the helioscience, because while in winter, the North Atlantic wind farms could provide sufficient energy enough to meet all of civilization's current needs, but in the summer, such wind farms could merely generate enough power to cover the electricity demand of Europe, or even just possibly the United States. Wind turbines, friends, unfortunately, do kill between 20,000 and 573,000 birds per year, which is very sad, as our birds, once they are high, they actually glide towards their destination on the wind. Just like hang gliders, birds use torque and vertical wind to help them pick the most efficient soaring path through the thermals. Now friends, prevailing and local winds are not spread evenly across the Earth. As we know, they actually move in many different directions, again contrary to this helioscience theory. In addition, wind speed also increases with the altitude, and not because you're moved up or down, left or right on a spinning globe with alternate miles per hour. Wind, friends, is the only open motion that we have on plain Earth. It's the only one, friends, that we can actually see it. we can test it, and we can repeat it, which it is why so many wind farms are actually opening up on land and in the oceans. Windmills are still a thing of much beauty, but are rendered obsolete. So the big question, friends, of this plain Earth, where is this one constant wind from the heliocentric science theory? Where is it? If the globe Earth model rotates on an axis with this terrific rate of 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, such an immense mass would have necessarily caused a tremendous rush of wind in the space it's occupied. The wind would go in one way, and anything like clouds, which within the sphere of influence of the rotating sphere, would all have to go in the same way. Yet, friends, absolutely nobody in our timeline history has ever experienced this 1,000 miles an hour constant eastward motion. Nobody anywhere in any country on plain Earth ever. The fastest wind ever recorded on paper to date was around about 250 miles an hour. And there is nowhere, friends, on plain Earth that has such a thing as a constant wind of 250 miles an hour. However, every single person on this plain Earth, in any single country, can feel, can hear, and if wanted to, can measure even the slightest, the tiniest westward breeze. Sometimes there are days of no wind, sometimes a mild breeze. Our simple human observation and experience tells us that the wind travels in all kinds of directions, sometimes changing by the second. If the Earth and its atmosphere were constantly spinning eastward over this 1,000 miles an hour, then the clouds, the wind, and the weather patterns could not casually and unpredictably go in every which way, with clouds often travelling in opposing directions at varying altitudes simultaneously or simultaneously. And this, friends, is the reason why the wind is a very real flat Earth fact on the plain Earth. There isn't a one constant eastward motion. Thank you for joining me for this upload. I hope you take extra care during this festive season, and I will see you very soon. Take care. No such thing as gravity, or a gravitational pull or force that can somehow explain all the liquid of Earth curving and able to stick around a 25,000 mile wobbling, bald, tilted pear from the outside as it's moving faster than a speeding bullet. There is only wind that has any open motion on the plane that is actually testable, and that you can feel it without interference. This is how you can incredibly fly a kite up to 16,000 feet up. If gravitation was a real pushing force, as the heliotheory states, at a whopping 15 pounds per square inch, the kite could not fly and rise up, could it? Think about this. This is a fact that a lot of people misplace. And also watching the peregrine falcon hunt proves that gravity does not exist in any way, shape or form, as this gorgeous species of a bird dive bombs at over 200 miles an hour vertically straight down to catch a pigeon. Do you think it has a built-in Coriolis effect radar? Well, of course not. Again, it's a myth. It would be not only crushed by the so-called gravitational force to the Earth, but it would never be able to eat if the Earth spins at any rate of miles per hour as it's hunting at 200 miles an hour. These are two proofs that are mostly overlooked, but directly prove gravity and also Coriolis are just mere myths to help sell the fiction of the heliocentricity story. Now, no one has ever become poor by giving. Our Earth is a flat one. It's stable, it's motionless, but it does offer free food, free water, free medication, free wind, free electricity, free solar power, free magnetism, free information, and free will. We're just not allowed to use any of it for free. Now, the real truth, friends, is that the world was created in a magnificent literal 7 days. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Day 1, night and day. Day 2, the sky and the sea. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Day 3, earth, land and vegetation. Day 4, the stars, the luminaries, the sun and the moon. Day 5, the sea creatures and the birds. And day 6, the land animals and humans. And day 7 is rest. Rest from all the work which had been made. Now, this is why we have time. Punctuality may be the thief of time. But everything that you have ever known is all traced back to these glorious and magical 7 days, and not for a no reason whatsoever tiny rock. Even in numerology, the number 7 is the seeker, the thinker, the searcher of truth. And it's the sun that goes around the earth, and that the stars are so many spangles set in the bright blue firmament above a flat, immovable earth. It cannot be moved. All things revolve around it. There is only one world. It's the center of it all. The sun, the moon, the stars, the luminaries, they all orbit Earth. Heliocentricity is not the real truth, friends. It's geocentricity that is. Hence it's number 9 on the RFEFP list. Geocentricity is a real flat Earth fact on the plane. Helio versus Geo, well, Geo wins, hands down, as it's the truth. But sometimes, unfortunately, a lie can travel halfway round this plane while the truth is still putting on its shoes. So you make up your own mind. And thank you for watching this.